Ryan, this has been a weird fight week for you, where guys have been very out of character and weird things have happened during the fight week.
You think?
So first, I hate to ask this question first, but can you clarify what the heck happened there with Rampage there in the cage at the end?
Who knows? I was walking out, and then there was this big fat guy at the where the gate opens up, and he's saying something like, "You did that shit on purpose," or whispering or whatever. And I finally got that out, understood that. And then he's trying to fight me in there. So I didn't even know what was going on. We went through the whole debacle of that, the non-eye poke or the nose poke. Got a video too here in my pocket. But then he just comes at me and he starts saying "fuck you," all that kind of stuff. And so it is what it is, So walked back into the middle of the cage and said, "Let's go then," And then he got held back by my dad, I think, and that was it.
You beat Rampage a long time ago. Do you have
I think I said that too. I was like, "You want it again?"
do you have any
Obviously, it'd be at super heavyweight.
You decided to revisit that fight at all?
Sure, why not? It'd be easier than the Congo fight. I don't know. Those dudes they come over and they push me at the weigh-ins, and his coach is saying, "Oh, it's just promotion, all this kind of stuff," and then. Then they do that shit in the cage. We just fought. He comes in like I did that on purpose. I went up, I was beating his ass, and I did that on purpose so I can get out of there. No, I was 2 minutes away from finishing him, and he took the easy way out, and he knew it. I felt him. I felt him start dwindling, and that was his shot. I have a video here. I'll show it to you guys. I poked him in the nose, and he goes like this, in his eye. So. It's unfortunate that happened at all, yeah.
So if since there now is some heat, if Bellator came back and said, "Do you have any interest in running that one back?" What would you say to that?
Yeah, sure. I'm open for everything. We'll see. There's a lot of interesting fights. That's what kind of sucks. I was, like I said, I felt like I was a couple minutes away from, defending the heavyweight title and moving on, with the win there. Instead, I get a no decision. When I went out there and I dropped him with a jab, dropped him with 2 left hooks, then dominated him on the ground. But, it is what it is. I wouldn't be sitting up here and being mean or whatever to these guys if they, didn't pull the shit they did, and it is what it is.
Well, I know it probably is up to your decision. Would you want to go back down to light heavyweight for your next one, or are you willing to stay at this weight and go for the heavyweight?
There's talks about going down to light heavyweight, but there's a lot of fights coming up, barring what happens in those. And so, man, I'm happy wherever. I feel like I owe it to the light heavyweight division to go defend that title, definitely. But I'm having a lot of fun up at heavyweight. But at the same time, I want to keep both titles, and obviously that has to be defended. I've done everything Bellator's asked of me. It's not like I'm picking and choosing myself. So they tell me where to go, and I go.
I'm sure this fight week's kind of left a weird taste in your mouth. So do you want to rush and get another fight back in just to get past this, or do you want to take some time off and then come back?
I don't know. Part of me is like, all right, let's go next week or whatever. But, at the same time, we put in a tough training camp. It's a 5-round heavyweight title defense. And then, if I'm going back down to light heavyweight, I need a little bit of time. But, it sucks. I've worked my ass off. It's been a long time since January when I beat Fedor, won the Grand Prix, and then been working that whole time, put in a great camp, and then to have it happen like that, and I think, then they're accusing me and this and that of being on purpose, and just being in the locker room and having people text me, seeing the replay on social media, it's bullshit.
During the fight, you caught Congo with a big left, which kind of looked like the one that you hit Fedor with. Did you think during the fight it's going to happen again, or the same way, or does that?
I try not to think of it. It's a weapon in my arsenal for sure. I go out there and I can set it up, and it's hard to see. I hit him with it once, and so went to it again a little later. But the first punch I threw, the jab, kind of rocked him a little bit. So I felt like I was just getting the better of him everywhere, standing. Every punch I threw pretty much wobbled him a little bit. So I don't know. It just sucks. felt like he took that the win away from me, and I'll have to go back and really play it in slow motion, and if there was an eye poke there, sucks. I'm sorry, it was not intentional. But looking at that video, that I've seen, it was a poke in the nose, and then he went for his eye. And I'll show you right now. Let's gather around.
And then look at his thumb. That's in the nose.
Okay, right here.
So there's the punch. And then
Right
look at his
in the
thumb.
nose,
That's
in the nose.
That's
And
nowhere
he,
near
all
the
right.
eye.
So once
And then
again,
look at his thumb. That's in the nose.
right in the nose, and he's
And then
holding
look
his
at
left eye.
That's in the nose. That's nowhere near the eye.
Whose commentary?
I don't
is
know.
that?
That's a shout out to Head Kick Audio on Twitter. I don't know who that is.
Ryan, you've almost been like the perfect model of a very talented fighter that changes promotion. You seem very happy. You've been on fire. I mean, you have been obviously flawless since you've made the move. Is that, do you think, just an appreciation of you knowing that the promotion appreciates the talent? Like was it you finally getting your chance?
Yeah, it feels good. And obviously, being experienced in more fights, it it catches up with you. And I think my mentality since my last loss, it was like, all right, I'm gonna have fun now. I'm gonna enjoy it, And then I fought 2 fights in UFC, and then I came over to Bellator, and I loved every second. I had just like a new outlook on MMA. I was treated really well. Everybody here, call a friend, and it's been awesome. And I love walking out there and representing Bellator and stepping in that cage every time. It's been a blast.
Would you entertain running it back with Congo? Or is that just so you pass that?
I don't know. I would entertain it. I mean, how the fight was going, going in there and feel. It's always nice to go in there and feel somebody. Usually it's one-off fights, and you kind of know in the rematch or whatever. But like I said, I was dominating every second of that fight. And if wants to do it again, I'd definitely entertain that.
So when the commission waves off the fight because he can't continue, and it's deemed a no contest, I guess, does it go through your mind like they might think I did it on purpose? They might try to DQ me. I mean, what are you thinking at that moment? Because it took like forever, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an MMA fan, but I'm not a huge fan where I know all the rules and all that. I know the rules that keep me safe and what I need to do and whatnot. But even on some decisions, I'm like, what's a majority decision? But so I had no idea. So I went up and asked the ref. I'm like, what is that? It's a no contest, and then what happens? And then I asked Scott, because that would have been some bullshit if we go look back at the tape and there's absolutely nothing, and then I get stripped of the belt, for that. So like I said, we might go look back and there was something. Who knows? And if so be it, then it is what it is. And sorry for the unintentional eye poke, but there's you take your 5 minutes and go from there.
And supposing you take a few months to go back to 205, like one guy who's in Bellator right now, who you fought at 205, is Machida.
Mhm.
He's been fighting lighter, but I'm sure he will go back up.
Yeah, I think
Can
there's
talk about that?
I think there's talks about couple potential matchups. He's fighting Musasi. You can see what happens there, and then Nemkov fighting Cavallo. There's some interesting matches going on there, but they got to play out. But they're playing out soon, so you get to watch that and kind of roll from there.
Ryan, at a media day, I remember asking what kind of statement you wanted to make against Cheick Kongo and beating him. And I remember you were saying that there are some people who feel you on the top heavyweight. Unfortunately, this wasn't the result you wanted. This didn't play out how you wanted. But with the way you hurt Cheick with those 2 left hooks and the way you took him down, do you feel, in a way, that's a statement that you're fighting these big guys and you can hurt them with punches like that? You can take them down to the ground. So do you feel that's somewhat of a statement you made?
Yeah, and I feel I'm just proving it to myself every time we go in there too. Like, I'm like, okay, how am I going to feel with a big dude like Mitrione, and I feel great, and I feel stronger than everybody. I feel faster. I hit just as hard, if not harder, and I literally have not been punched in the face in 4 fights at heavyweight, so it's been fun, and sorry, I forgot your question.
What I was asking was, even though this wasn't the way you wanted.
Oh yeah, I think people see that out there. You know, yeah, it ended in an no contest, whatever. But what was happening out there before, you know, and then that was only just going to get worse for him.
And then if I may also ask Ryan, with all the success you've had in Bellator, does it seem a little surreal to you how fast you've achieved so much? You know, from going in the first fight, winning the light heavyweight title, successfully defending it, and then having such a successful and impactful run in the heavyweight Grand Prix. Does it sometimes seem surreal to you, all the success?
It does and it doesn't. I always thought I could, you know, if I had the opportunity, it's all about opportunity. If I have that, I believe I could, you know, grab that and run with it. And so that's what I was given over here with Bellator. I came over and I got to fight for the light heavyweight title, Madison Square Garden, won that, defended it, went to the Grand Prix, you know, and then won that, and then, you know, going into this fight, just believing in myself and having fun over here, and that's it, really. You know, I'm reinvigorated, and I feel like I'm in the prime of my career, and mentally and physically.